So, today we're going to crack open the playbook for a faceless YouTube channel that went from absolutely nothing to over 1 million views. We're going to look at the AI-powered system that made it all happen and how it turned a whole string of failures into thousands of dollars. Let's dive right in. You know, every journey has a starting point. And for this one, it was this. This devastatingly simple question from a 15-year-old cousin. It wasn't mean or anything, but man, it hit like a wrecking ball. This was that moment, that brutal moment of honesty that just shattered the illusion of being busy and forced a complete and total reinvention. That very same night, it was time to clean house. 42. That's the number of folders, each one a little tombstone for a failed project from the last 8 months that got dragged straight to the trash. This wasn't just about clearing a cluttered desktop. This was a ceremony, really, a surrender, and a promise to start completely from scratch. And from the ashes of all those deleted ideas, one single resolution came into focus, a 90-day challenge. One last idea, one final shot to make this work. The rules were simple. Figure it out in 90 days, or just hang it up and abandon the dream for good. And this is what that 90-day all-or-nothing gamble produced. Over $4,000, all from more than 1 million views. And look, this isn't just a number. It's proof. It's proof that real success doesn't come from trying to chase algorithms, but from actually helping an audience solve a real problem. So how did this massive turnaround actually happen? Well, it really starts with understanding the #1 reason that most of these faceless channels just fail. It's a super common pitfall that traps so many creators, usually within their first 30 days. It's called the AI content trap. And you can see the difference laid out right here, clear as day. The first failed attempt, a motivation channel, was just a mess of generic content and really vague goals. The result? Less than 1,000 views. But the successful channel, the Bedtime Story one, it found a very specific human need. People want to sleep better, and it offered a direct solution. I mean, the results kind of speak for themselves, don't they? So what is the AI content trap, really? Well, at its core, it's just about pumping out low-effort, robotic-sounding content, hoping you can game the system. But here's the thing. YouTube is getting way smarter. With their recent updates that specifically target this kind of stuff, AI-generated content that has no human touch, this whole approach has gone from being a risky shortcut to basically a dead end. So understanding that trap is the first huge step. The next one is embracing the turning point, this fundamental shift in how you think, which can transform a channel from just a content farm into something people actually find valuable. And this right here, this is the aha moment. The big secret isn't about cracking some secret YouTube algorithm code. No way. It's about finding a specific group of people who have a real problem and then creating content that actually helps them. When you start focusing on providing human value, you know what happens? The algorithm naturally starts to notice. And this is exactly how the bedtime sleeping stories niche was chosen. It wasn't some lucky guess, it was a totally calculated decision. The data just pointed to this massive opportunity. Why? Because it has huge potential for long watch times. People don't just watch these videos for a few minutes, they literally fall asleep to them. That sends an incredibly powerful signal to the YouTube algorithm that people are loving this content. Okay, so we've got the winning mindset and we've found the right niche. Now, let's break down the practical 3-step system that actually makes it all work. This is the blueprint. And the system itself is actually pretty simple. First, you master picking a niche. Then you build a super efficient production system so you can be consistent. And finally, you have to tackle monetization, but with a realistic and sustainable strategy. This schedule right here is the heart of the whole operation. The key to it all is one word: batching. By dedicating entire days to specific tasks, like writing all the week's scripts on Monday, then recording all the audio on Tuesday, you create this amazing assembly line. It makes the whole process so much more efficient, and honestly, it just makes it easier to stay focused and creative. All right, let's talk about the money for a second, because we have to be realistic here. You'll see online gurus talking about getting these crazy high RPMs, that's revenue per 1,000 views, of like $20 or more. But the reality, especially in a niche like sleep stories, is a lot closer to $4. But trust me, that lower number does not tell the whole story. See, the monetization strategy here is all about volume. It's a volume game. You're not trying to get rich off a single view. You're trying to build up a massive amount of watch time across millions of views. When your videos are literally designed to be played for hours at a time, that lower RPM gets completely offset by the sheer scale of it all. Okay, so that's the system. But the big question is, does it actually work? Well, let's stop talking theory and look at the cold, hard data from a single video to see the proof. Let's take a look at the channel's breakout video called Enchanted Forest Sleep Story. In just 45 days, it pulled in 300,000 views. I mean, that's incredible. But as impressive as that is, it's not even the most important number. This is the number that matters. 320,000 hours of watch time. That is the metric that makes the YouTube algorithm just fall in love with a video and start pushing it out to everyone. It is an absolutely staggering figure from just one video. And all of that insane watch time translates directly into this. Over $1,200 in earnings from a single video that probably took about 2 hours of actual work to create, plus some rendering time overnight. This is the system in action. This is the power of it. So let's just boil this whole journey down into 5 key lessons. First, quality over quantity, especially at the start. One great video is way better than a dozen okay ones. Second, remember that watch time is king on YouTube. Earn it at all costs. Third, you have to add a human touch, even with AI. It's what keeps you monetized. Fourth, be so patient and consistent. The big breakthrough for this channel didn't happen until video number 37. And finally, just respect your audience. Don't spam them with ads. They are the reason you're here. In the end, this entire success story really comes down to one simple shift in thinking. It's about going from how can I make money to how can I solve a problem. This approach doesn't require a fancy camera, a studio, or even showing your face. It just requires a system, consistency, and a real focus on providing value. So the only question left to ask is, what problem will you solve?